right, welcome back to another edition of Forts Athletics Life and Coaching Podcast. I'm your host, Charles Inferna, and today we are going to try and record our podcast from our car here. So in the past, the last 3-4 years, when I was coaching at NAS, I started this Coach's Car Chronicles series where I would just ramble on the way to practice or home from practice and discuss, whatever was happening in regards to coaching back in 15-16, starting with the 15-16 season. And today when I was looking through old YouTube videos, I realized I haven't recorded one of these Coach's Car Chronicles since 2018. So it's been a while, so we'll try and do that more often now, more frequently, especially since I realized I've been producing more writing related content at the Forts Athletics blog and website, but really haven't put anything to video, and not much in regards to podcasting as well. So this video will serve a dual purpose of getting another YouTube video up and a podcast as well. And last week on Friday, I shared a couple of blog posts related to end of season thoughts and feeling nostalgic that the Olympic trials have started, and just reminiscing about old days and thinking back of thinking about trying to qualify for the Olympic trials, which was the most far-fetched idea I think I've ever had in regards to track and whatnot. But anyway, watching the last couple days and reminiscing about the end of our season at Alfred just really gets me thinking about what it actually takes to qualify for and compete at the Olympic trials. And as our season came to a close at Alfred, it really made me think about how much growth our athletes experienced over the course of the season, starting in October and then stopping in November and then starting back in February, and just the stop and go rather. We accomplished a lot of stuff, and when I talk about that, I get a little emotional sometimes, so I'm going to try and not get too emotional for this first rendition back of the Coach's Car Chronicles series. But from the beginning of November, really, when we actually had 6 people at practice, till the end of the season, we had exponential growth on our men's side, and not just throwers, across the whole board. All of our athletes had and experienced exponential growth, which in a COVID year, I guess in any other year, you would expect to see some growth and development, right? Just because the athletes are getting a little older, a little stronger, a little bit more mature, a little bit more acclimated to college environment and things. And with the limited amount of practice and the COVID restrictions and things like that, we had quite a haul at our outdoor conference championships. We won the discus. Finished second in the discus, won the hammer, won the women's discus. Scored more than a third of the points between the men's and women's team combined in regards to the throwing event. So it was quite a haul, and I'm really proud of our kids and everything that they accomplished. And just thinking back to where it started and how it ended, it boggles my mind sometimes. Coaching, I don't know if other coaches experience this, but just watching the growth and maturation process of your athletes from the fall semester when they're freshmen, when they're kind of away from home and not really have anybody tell them what to do all the time, to being on their own, to making the best decisions that they can for themselves. and also going to class, coming to practice, taking care of everything that they need to take care of in order to, stay eligible and compete at the level that they want to compete. And that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about today is, in the past, I tried similar to our COVID year, start and go, stop and go, Forza Friday editions of writing and videos and things. And now that there's a lot more free time available and the travel, just to travel to school, gives me more time to think, and recording these videos and taking this audio, hopefully some of the content that is shared is something that it's easily digestible for you who are consuming it in regards to track or coaching. But one of the things that I want to leave you with here is, since a majority of college athletes, their season is over, some are still competing at the Olympic trials, which are happening right now. We're recording this. It is Wednesday, June 23rd. So there's a couple days off for the athletes. But when our seasons end, I always ask our athletes, specifically the throwers that I work with, what they thought went well for the season for themselves, and how their season deviated from what they initially expected. So in the fall, I ask them to just kind of think about some goals, some things that they want to accomplish for the season, why accomplishing those specific goals is important to them. And then at the end of the season, I ask them to think back and reflect upon if they accomplished their goals or not, and why or why not, or why do they or why don't they think they accomplished their goals. And then a couple of questions about my coaching philosophy, coaching style, what they liked, what they didn't like. And I always ask them to complete it anonymously, send it back to our head coach, whoever that may be, whether it was at NAS or now at Alfred State. And then I take that information and try to work on skills for myself as well. Do all the athletes complete those last few questions? No. Do we have conversations about it over the course of the summer and into the fall? We do, for most athletes who want to engage in it. And I'm not going to force anybody to share what they liked or what they didn't like. I mean, I think it would be easy to share what somebody liked, what they thought went well about the season, especially reflecting upon themselves. Because I never really took the time to do that when I was in college. Nobody asked, and I never really sat down at the end of the season and was like, wow, what went well? And it was more up until my senior year. It was more about distance and performances. How much farther could I throw? Could I hit these certain benchmarks? And not really thinking about bigger picture items. And that didn't really come until after Coach Barr arrived on campus my senior year. But I'll record that another day. But yeah, so that's what I want to leave you with is, just some thoughts about how I ask my athletes to reflect on the end of the season. Hopefully, I don't know if any of them responded back to our head coach for